viewers and subscribers, and this is Supercholatemilkshake, and I am back with more of my look back for the channel. Okay, so basically I'm recording this video right after I recorded the 2016-2017 eras, but that's because I'm on a train, and by the way, 2018, 2019, and 2020 are all probably going to be really short videos, okay? So stick with me. Anyway, basically I'm doing way more walkthrough content here. Actually, again, this is kind of where I started getting a little displeased with myself. And by the time I hit 2018, playing games didn't look like a hobby anymore. It didn't look like anything fun to me anymore. It looked more like a chore more than anything, and that's where my biggest problem started coming in right there. I was no longer thinking about it as just doing it for fun or doing it just for laughs or for kicks. I was just thinking about it as, you know what, I have to do it because I have to do it because my channel requires it, because I'm a gaming channel and all that other stuff. And honestly, the stigma really got to me, and it was really starting to depress me right about here. Actually, for a matter of fact, it really gets to me a little bit later on, too. But then, of course, I kind of got out of that depression and stigma. Now I'm just focusing on one walkthrough, and I'm taking my time with it, which is the reason why you still haven't seen the next part for the Half-Life series yet. But just to let you know, I'm still working on it. I'm trying to make it about as funny as I possibly can. I'm still working on some of the editing, so I can cut down some of the content, so that you guys have something to watch and enjoy. So, hopefully. Anyway, yeah, I was mostly focusing on walkthrough content here, and then, oh yeah, I started my very first vlog sometime in January that year, too. Honestly, I was a little bit nervous, and tell you the truth, this was also back when I was, also had it, it was a gift to me to go to a gym. Unfortunately, though, that kind of fell through because, well, let's just say nobody in this house was really interested in that, and tell you the truth, the gym that we were going to is like quite literally all the way across town, and we didn't really have the motivation to do that, or the nerve, or the drive either, because we don't really have that much reason to go across town, especially even as of now. I mean, if we want to go across town, that's fine, but really, we don't really have that much reason to, because there really isn't that much going on downtown. Not unless we want to stop by Safeway for a quick emergency snacks or something, but other than that, there's really no reason to go all the way down there. Especially with the fact that Shopko is now gone. So, but anyway. Oh yes, and this one was done at Keith Ryder Park, which is actually one of my favorite parks in the... Wait, no. Keith Ryder? Yeah, it was Keith Ryder, which is one of my favorite parks, and this was me talking about my trouble with girls and my trouble with dating. And then, eventually, I started playing a dating simulator! An anime dating simulator that left a big scar on my life! Oh yeah, and then creating Valentine's Day card. I actually remember watching this video a couple times myself, and I went like, man, I actually feel like I feel very satisfied. So this is kind of what started the speed paints and such, which actually I did kind of enjoy. And then, yes, it turned into a horror game rather quickly, of course. Everybody saw that coming. And then, oh yes, and then this part, Just Monica. First of all, for those who would think that I deleted Monica, I did not. There's actually still her file on my computer, and I could show you here. Honestly, though, I should probably delete it. Where is it? Oh, man. I hope I'm not digging up something bad just because I'm looking! Okay, there we go. There it is. She's right there. She's right there. She's still there. But I put a little bit of a glitch inside the code, so hopefully she doesn't find that. I put a little bit of a code inside there that she hasn't found yet, so she probably won't interrupt this video, hopefully. I pray not. But, you know, basically in that situation, it's like, who's trapped in with who? Me or her? Because honestly, I do a whole lot of crazy things with that photo. She manages to delete them all, but, you know. Anyway. Oh yeah, and then I achieved a happy ending in that game, too. Like I said, that game was just an emotional roller coaster for me, and honestly. Oh yeah, and Vex Speed Paint. Okay, this was back when she was called Vex, but now she's called Valerie, because you know what? I figured Vex would be just kind of a dumb name, and really was kind of a stupid shortening up for Valerie, and that was her earliest concept name. That was also back when she was a Nico Witch. a cat witch or a cat-like person witch or whatever. I decided to scrap that concept, thank goodness, because you know what? I didn't want to have another weird character to try to explain. I mean, Super Chocolate Milkshake is hard to explain. Impression Wiz is hard to explain. Mr. Happy and his robot servant is hard to explain, which, by the way, you'll see more details about them later. But anyway, yeah, those characters were very hard to explain, so that's kind of why I decided to go with that design. But unfortunately, I didn't really like it. Actually, okay, I gotta start up the video here and jump to the part where I think...
Show. Vex 4.
Okay, yeah, this does not look nearly as good as I do now these days, but this doesn't look nearly as good. Okay, hold on, I need to draw this up. I need to pull this up here. Is it underneath new folder? Let's check. Is it underneath new folder for this? Because I have a newer design for her, and I gotta show you. I gotta show you. I gotta show you. I gotta show you. Where is it? 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 Oh. Here we go. There we go. See, that's her new design. And honestly, I prefer that over this. Because tell you the truth, I think this looks a little bit better. That looks a little more better and a little more beautiful. Actually, tell you the truth, I think I probably just... I also have some multiple images of her on Deviantart as well, so gallery. Doobie-doo-doo. Okay. Doobie-doo. It's down here just a little bit. I haven't drawn her in a while. Okay, well, here's one image that I did draw. Okay, back. Okay, that's the one that I just shown you. Ha 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 ha, he 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 he, ho 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 ho, ha 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 ha. Oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez. Man, oh man, oh man. Pages of random doodles. Actually, I did draw Valerie here a couple times too. Yeah, but that when I wasn't really that experienced with drawing her. Also, this one too. Like I said, you could definitely tell that her newer design is a lot better than her older design, and honestly, I do prefer it because it makes her look like she has more personality to her compared to this. So, you know. And that's kind of what I wanted to do, and she had this... And really, the idea is that she's a character with a bit of a closed-off personality. She's a bit shy, she's a bit baffled, she's a bit shy, bashful, you know, you name it. So that's kind of what I wanted to go with for her. And honestly, having that wasn't necessarily the best idea. And also, having her be secretive about her past was not really showing in that image either. It showed better in an image kind of like this, where, you know, some of her bangs are just blocking out her eye. And honestly, there's also a good reason for that too, but I'll probably show you guys a bit further on. Maybe after I introduce the character, who knows. Anyway... Oh yeah, and another 6-year anniversary update. And then, of course, Vlog 3, getting old, because that's my birthday! The March 15th is always my birthday. Remember that, okay? Be sure to wish me a happy birthday on the 15th every year of March. Oh, yes, and then, of course, the garlic and white cheddar burger. Actually, that one was pretty good. That's the very first time I ever reviewed food. And then I ended up stuck in the loop of walkthroughs, and I didn't even get out of it until I made this video, which is, by the way, probably one of the shortest videos I've ever made on YouTube. Here we go. Do I regret making this? Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much the video describes itself. Okay, anyway, oh yeah, and then this is when I also announced the fact that I got a Deviantart, but again, most of this is just walkthrough content and all that other stuff, so it was, well, some of the easiest stuff I had to edit and all that other stuff, but tell you the truth, oh boy, yeah, I'm not necessarily, happy with some of this stuff, though. Walking my sister's dog. Oh yeah, I took Hero out for a walk on that. And that's the very first time we've seen Hero on this channel. And I was talking about the state fair and all that other stuff, but you know. Oh yes, and some of the fun stuff I did with with Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed, the video game. Actually, I remember having fun with that. Or, well, the PC game, anyway. It's not really necessarily a video game, per se. I love to play the audio for you, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to get copyrighted for this. But, you know, tell you the truth. Yeah, basically I was having some fun with the editing here. This is some of the most advanced editing I've ever done on this channel, by the way. Yep, it's... Okay, so I got struck for Thriller. Okay, fine. Considering that... Oh, yeah! Okay, fine. It starts out with the majority of Smooth Criminal, and then it just rolls right into Thriller. Which is why it says, "You've been struck by Thriller Nights!" Yeah, I know. It was kind of fun to do. Anyway. Yeah, and then, of course, this is the review that killed all the reviews. Here's the reason why. That review was hell for me to make. Like, seriously. It took me a while to get the script done. It took me a while to get, well, basically almost everything done with that review, actually. Because, here's the thing. I ended up working 6-day weeks while making that review at my job. I also ended up having to take care of my mother, who unfortunately had some serious problems with, I think it was a gallbladder issue, but I'm not quite sure. But she ended up out of work for quite some time now, and I also had to take care of her and work hard to pay the rent and pay the money, so, you know. Unfortunately, I had to do that, and also getting that... and I couldn't put all my focus into the review, which is the reason why I was struggling so hard, and the reason why I decided, no, it's time for the reviews to just die. Because it was such chaos just to get that review out. So I decided, no more reviews. Until, like, probably about 2 years later, I decided to pick up Scooby-Doo Happy Halloween and decided to give it a brief review and decided not to give it any numbers or anything because I felt like the number system is kind of pointless. And you know what? It still is in some ways because you can't really put a number on something because, you know, you give it a 6 out of 10? What the heck is that supposed to mean? Is that mediocre? Is that good? Is that bad? How am I supposed to know? And, you know, that's the thing. I mean, you could just really say that you liked it, you enjoyed it, you played it, or it's an enjoyable experience or something like that. That's easier to relate to than just giving it a number, you know? So anyway, and I started out the Month of Scares 2018, and this is the best year for the Month of Scares up until last year. And, actually, I had a lot of fun with this one, too. I mean, I played a whole lot of indie games. Actually, Mother, Is That You? Actually, I would love to get back into that one. Scooby-Doo Horror Remastered, Part 1, which, of course, you know, I played both parts. Bedtime Blues. I also did a speed paint for the Black Licorice Shake, which is basically opposite version of the Superchocolatemilkshake. But I'll explain a little bit more about that character probably a little bit later on and after I introduce him inside the comic series. So, Loneliness. That game was a very creepy game. Horror Remastered, and this is when YouTube went down. I remember that night. Oh my gosh, Twitter was so busy. But I actually was having a lot of fun on Twitter, actually. Oh my gosh, the fun I had on Twitter that night. Oh yeah, and then of course I also played Return, One Way Trip. Which, by the way, they did finally have a final release for the game. But here's my opinion on it. It's just bad. Okay? The pre-beta actually had something decent to work up to. The characters were far more relatable, and the characters were a little more relatable in the beta build than they were inside the final product. And, you know, that was the most disappointing thing. And the story that was told was not as good, and the scares actually were not as scary. I mean, inside this game, the scares are absolutely terrifying, but in the other game, it's not even scary at all. In fact, like, for example, the Yuta hanging himself inside this one, spoilers, but Yuta hanging himself inside the beta version, it was a lot more scarier because, well, Yuta wasn't there. You didn't know what happened to him. The moment you opened up the door and saw him hanging there, it's like, oh my gosh, that really happened? The shock, the horror. But then inside this game, they have, like, Yuta right behind you the whole time, especially when you walk in and see this hanging corpse of him. What? What am I supposed to be scared of? You know what I'm saying? I mean, they completely... I mean, the guy who developed this game completely and totally ruined the game. And not only that, his story was left so vague that I couldn't even tell you what he was trying to go for in the story. Like, at all. Like, seriously, at all. It's like, sheesh, dude. Don't even bother making the sequel. I don't think anybody's going to want to pay for that. I don't think anybody wants to know where the story's going to go because you've messed things so up. And, I mean, there are certain things that are more prominent in the other version. And, you know, I bet you they're trying to do a diversity check with it. But tell you the truth, diversity does not make a story. There are so many movies and shows out there that tell you that diversity does not make a good story. A story makes a story. Diversity does not. Sometimes diversity can play into a bit of a role, yes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it makes for a good story. Which, unfortunately, is kind of the sad state about this world right now. Anyway. I continue on with the month of scares, and I talked about the Scare Me Shakeless jam, which is the very first year. Okay, actually, no, I did hold another jam, but that jam was pretty much gone, and then actually, it wasn't nearly as good as a title as the Scare Me Shakeless jam. So, tell you the truth, and this is the very first year that anybody joined and everybody signed up, and I only got 3 games out of it. Not a bad amount, though, actually, and tell you the truth, I did have one that had some serious potential, which is Minotaur Maze. I remember that one very well. Oh, yes. And this one, where I created that monster, when I abused Monica and Alice Angel together. Actually, I had some fun with some of my references material, but anyway. Okay. Oh, yeah, and then the Halloween Doodle, and then... Oh, yeah, and then, of course, I decided to do a couple videos on Deltarune, too, since the... Deltarune released on October 31st, and I actually played that game on October 31st and completed it within the same day. Oh, okay, I didn't necessarily complete it. I didn't do the Jevil fight, but I didn't know anything about that until a little bit later on. But I wanted to do a Deltarune walkthrough, and this is the proof... Wait, what? How on earth does it have 85 views? Well, okay, this is kind of the proof that sometimes trends don't always pay off, because tell you the truth, 362 views, yeah, I pretty much was riding at the very bottom of the trend wave, before the trend wave was even a trend wave, which is kind of sad. Oh, man, my nose is getting plugged up by talking about all this stuff. Oh, I'm gonna have to blow my nose here soon. But I do remember voicing this character.
Susie, wait. Huh? What's that? Whoa! I love the little thing. Ho, ho, ho! The heroes are running away! Wait, the heroes are already running away! And they didn't even know I was here! My dad's gonna make me son of the month!
Yeah, I know. I actually kind of like that one. I know a lot of people may go like, but, you know, Lancer's supposed to sound a little bit something like this. But tell you the truth, I kind of like the more demonic one, where basically it sounds like he was also smoking a couple ones over... smoking a couple ones, like, ho, ho, ho! Oh, the heroes are already running away! They didn't even know I was here! You know, kind of having a bit of a demonic feel to it, like... Ho, ho, ho! You know, something like that. I kind of like that voice, and I was really hoping it become headcanon, but no! Everybody wanted the, oh, I want this nasally voice, you know? Something like this, you know? But, bleh, you know. Anyway, I played through Deltarune, and we also did a split Joy-Con challenge with ukulele, which actually was a lot of fun, and really challenging to do. Okay, to give you an idea, basically I had this Joy-Con in my hand, and Michael had this Joy-Con in this hand. Basically, all the jumps and some of the actions over here were basically in his hand, while I had control of some of the other actions over here. I think it would be a really fascinating challenge to do someday on this channel again. And actually, this was a challenge that had a lot of thought put into it. I really think we should try that again sometime, but I don't know when. Anyway. Deltarune, The Legend Begins, yep, I did some Deltarune, and then, of course, I did... Oh, yeah, and I ate a habanero. I remember that day. Oh, yeah, and then what are you thankful for? Before November. And actually, this is also before an interesting event where I actually ended up making a few friends on Twitter. Basically, we were causing chaos with CG5's Twitter account. If you don't know who CG5 is, he's a music artist on YouTube that does some really phenomenal stuff, by the way. Subscribe to him. We were causing massive chaos in his Twitter accounts the night before Thanksgiving, and I remember having so much fun with it. Oh my gosh! And all it starts off with is the fact that somebody commented on one of his posts that says, "You are the only person that can flirt with everyone at the same time." And then, of course, I commented on that one going like, "Papyrus, can I borrow your dating manual?" Even though, honestly, I misspelled C with a V, and then chaos kept happening. It was so much fun, and I would love to do that kind of stuff again. I would have loved to see how, I would have loved to see what his face looked like when all this was happening, you know? I would have loved to see how his face looked. But I bet you his notification thing looked like it had 99 plus something, you know? And this was back on the older Twitter, the better version of Twitter, you know? Oh yeah, and then this video, which was basically just me motivating myself. Oh yeah, and then drinking eggnog to the eggnog song, which is something that Grant Kirkhope made. Which actually was something that I actually had a lot of fun making. A video that I actually had a lot of fun making, and a song that I actually had a lot of fun listening to. Unfortunately, though, I felt really groggy after that, because, eggnog is really thick stuff. And actually, I'm not going to lie, I really enjoyed that song, and yes, it does have a copyright claim, but come on! You're talking to the guy who composed for Banjo-Kazooie! You're talking to the guy who composed Banjo-Kazooie! He deserves every stinking cent of my money! Well, okay, not every single stinking cent, because to tell you the truth, I do have bills to pay, but he does deserve the money! So, okay, anyway, and then, oh yeah, and then the last video I ever uploaded was an update for Webloms, and then this is when I start getting into my darker era of YouTube. Even more so darker than, 2018, and, well, I'll get to that in the next video anyway. So, anyway, sorry to interrupt. Come on. Focus, work. Good. Okay, so to end this video abruptly here, well, sorry about that. I would love to continue on to the 2019 because it is short, but to tell you the truth, I think I'll probably save that for the next video. So, wait a second. No, it's 2019, isn't it? Oh, shoo! Ah! I mean, I have 23 minutes, but then, of course, you know what? This thing is going to be But then 2019 is so short. It's kind of ridiculous. I ended up losing a job more than once here, and, well, some of it's my fault, and then, of course, also I ended up delaying Webloms again, because I was having troubles with the plots and all that other stuff. And then, of course, I kept doing some status updates and some speed paints, but to tell you the truth, as you can tell, there's becoming a very significant gap in videos here. Like, a very big, significant gap, and there's a reason why for that. I was depressed. I was working hard. I mean, the only good thing that I could say that happened in this small time frame in between 2019 and yeah, see, it doesn't even take 3 pages to get through 2019. It is that disappointing. Like, 2019 was such a bad year for me, and there's multiple reasons why. I was working like a 6-day job at the time, and of course they were treating me like garbage at my work. I had it up to there mentally, and I was struggling to just make videos, you know? So, as you can clearly tell, I struggled a lot, and I was trying to take on some things, you know, like, for example, Inktober and such, but then I ended up not doing it anyway because of the fact that, well, I ended up struggling with just doing it. I just had a hard time making myself go out there and trying out. Oh, yeah, except for the VR thing. That was actually fun to do, too. Actually, one of my funniest lines I've ever said was inside this video, and that is, never give me a grenade launcher. And you don't give me a grenade launcher, please. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I was struggling through this time, and it was a really rough patch in my life. And in a way, I'd say that 2020 was a much better year for me than 2019. So, considering the fact that 2020, pretty much everything happened at once, which I know sucked for a lot of people, but to tell you the truth, that's kind of what happened. So, you know, to be fair, but yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll end this video here so I don't get any more depressing or anything like that. So please be sure to hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and comment down below. And I'll see you all in the next video. This is Superchocolatemilkshake, signing off.